Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Here I share recipes, meal prep, and dinner inspiration from a homeschooling family of 5 that eats 3 meals per day from home, mostly from scratch. I am happy to have you here in my kitchen on this Monday morning. We are all recovering from the flu, so I haven't had a day of meal prep in over 2 weeks. We also have about a 6-hour road trip ahead of us on Monday, so I have a long list of things I want to accomplish, including some snacks for our trip because we will not be stopping for food. Starting off with onions. Veggies can sometimes be tricky here in Botswana. Things like potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, and onions can at times be hard to come by. The shops have been out of onions for the past few weeks, so when I spotted these, I had to stock up. I will be using my crockpot to caramelize some of these for the freezer. I have never done this before. This recipe said it would take 10 hours. It took me much longer than that. I had to let these go overnight, and I think that was because these onions were cold out of the fridge. Here they are once they were completely done and completely cooled. I divided them among my silicone cupcake liners and popped them in the freezer till frozen through. These will add great flavor to just about anything. Even my kids like the flavor of caramelized onions. I diced the rest of these onions for the freezer. These will be great to have on hand for things like pizza, rice, tacos, basically anything that's going to be cooked. I would have liked to have had these for my homemade Hamburger Helper I shared in my last video. Getting my bread dough started, I make this every week. Now I'm whipping up some muffins. I love having homemade muffins in the house. We usually do banana, but we are all out of bananas, so I'm trying a new blueberry muffin recipe. This turned out really good. I searched for a recipe that called for sour cream. Sour cream adds such a moist richness to baked goods. I always seek out recipes that call for it. I used frozen blueberries for these. Next time, I think I'm going to sub some of the white sugar for brown, and I'll be adding more blueberries. Mixing up some more muffins. I love having a stash of mini muffins in the freezer for my daughter to take to preschool. Again, we usually do banana, so I had to seek out a recipe I thought she would enjoy. I'm trying these Little Bites Copycat muffins. I know my daughter and I can't go wrong with sprinkles. This is the perfect recipe when you don't have a lot of ingredients on hand. I had used up all that sour cream for my blueberry muffins, so this one was perfect. Once they were completely cooled, I stuck them in the freezer just like this till they were frozen through. Then I transferred them to a freezer bag. Having these on hand makes my morning a bit easier when it comes time to pack my daughter's preschool snack. I just pop them in her lunchbox frozen. They will be thawed by snack time. Next up is what I like to call sandwich skinnies. I have been experimenting with these high protein sandwich buns for weeks. For this recipe, you're going to need eggs, cottage cheese, baking powder, salt, and old-fashioned oats. I like to run my oats through the coffee grinder, making an oat flour, but you don't have to. Adding in my baking powder and salt. In a separate bowl, I'm measuring out my cottage cheese. I am using a fat-free smooth cottage cheese. If you can't find smooth cottage cheese, you can throw it in a blender with the eggs. Once my cottage cheese and eggs are all mixed together, I'm going to add it to my oat mixture and then stir till everything's incorporated. Once it's all mixed together, I like to measure out each bun by the 1/3 cupful. I just form each one with my hands. It's pretty sticky. Place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet and bake at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes. They will be a nice golden brown. Once they are all baked and cooled, I like to slice and freeze. I separate the halves before freezing with a layer of parchment paper. I freeze these because I'm pretty much the only one in our house that eats them. It just keeps them fresher that way. Once they're frozen through, I transfer them to a plastic Ziploc bag. These remind me of a homemade version of the Arnold's sandwich thins I used to purchase in the States. You can pop them in the toaster when you're ready for them. They toast up really nice. These are so good. I've been using them for breakfast sandwiches in the morning, great for egg salad sandwiches at lunch. This may sound strange, but peanut butter and cottage cheese is a great combination and makes a great afternoon snack. While I had out my coffee grinder for oats, I decided to quickly throw together these peanut butter oat cups. I made these with honey instead of maple syrup. I melted all the ingredients in the microwave. I lined my mini muffin pan with plastic to ensure I could easily pop them out. I even melted the chocolate in the microwave with some coconut oil. The key to melting chocolate, whether it's on the stove or in the microwave, is to gently heat it. Here I am after about 10 seconds. I'm giving it a good stir and then back to the microwave it goes for about another 15 seconds. At this point, I felt I needed a little more chocolate, so there's some more chocolate chips in there. You just want to be sure you have removed it from the heat source before it's completely melted. Just keep stirring and let that residual heat do the job of melting the rest. Let me tell you guys, these are a 10 out of 10. Everyone except my daughter, who doesn't like peanut butter, devoured these. This recipe is definitely a keeper. Once they were done, I popped them in the freezer. I actually stored them in the freezer. They thaw pretty quickly on the counter, or you can eat them frozen, which is what we did. Now it's time to portion out my bread dough. A couple of sandwich loaves, making some dinner rolls for burgers this week, and I am still working on perfecting my cinnamon bread. My kids used to love the Pepperidge Farm cinnamon swirl loaves in the States, and I have been doing my best to recreate that, and this is the closest I've gotten. So be sure to stay till the end to check out the final results. And while you're watching me roll this cinnamon swirl bread, I want to take a moment to shamelessly ask you, if you're enjoying this video, please tap on the like button. It really helps to support the channel. We are nearing almost 3,000 subscribers. I cannot believe it. It makes me so happy. There is nearly 1,000 of y'all from just the last 2 months, so I want to take a second to welcome you. And if you're comfortable, go ahead and let me know where you're from in the comment section. While my bread is proving for the second time, I threw together some ranch dressing. Then I got started on tortillas. I didn't have the time or energy for a big batch like I typically do. This is just a half batch. I added way too much water here. I don't know what I was thinking. I corrected this the best I could with a little extra flour. I just kept kneading and adding flour until my dough came together. I was a little nervous, but there was no way I was going to start over. I had already pre-measured and graded all of my shortening, but they turned out just fine. Today I am weighing each piece out between 15 and 20 grams. These are going to be mini tortillas. These are definitely a labor of love. I used these tortillas for baked tacos on this night. I took a can of rinsed and drained kidney beans, you can use any type of beans, and mashed them up. I then added some fresh chopped cilantro and some of our favorite salsa. Shredded cheese would also be really good here. My oldest doesn't like cheese, so I'm leaving it out. I filled each tortilla with some of my bean mixture and some steak. I then topped them with shredded cheese. The great thing about this recipe is that it can be prepared ahead of time. I'm just going to cover this with plastic and let it hang out in the fridge until we're ready for dinner tonight. These were so good that I ended up making them twice this week. I used chicken breast the second time around. I just love dinner recipes that I am able to assemble the day before or the morning of. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my brain is fried by the time dinner rolls around. The last thing I want to be doing is chopping veggies or measuring out spices, which is why I try to prep as much as I can in the morning, which is what I did here with these Mongolian meatballs. Having this sauce already prepared pretty much put dinner on autopilot. This recipe was made even easier with my homemade frozen meatballs. I served this with microwave steamed veggies and white rice. I served up the leftovers the next day over some spaghetti noodles. All right, back to my meal prep Monday. I am just about done in this kitchen, finishing up with these chocolate chip cookies. I did something a little bit different with the dough today. I usually portion out each cookie and flash freeze them, but today I divided my dough into 3 equal-ish pieces. I then rolled each piece into a log shape. I think I like this method for freezing a little better. I kept one log in the fridge and was easily able to slice and bake exactly what I wanted. So that's all I've got for you guys today. I am sad to say that this will be my last video for a while. Our family has a big move coming up, but be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have those notifications turned on because I'm really hoping to hop on and share some short form content during our time of transition. Until next time.